welcome to the Film Nerd Podcast. I'm Vince, and this is a very special episode because it is my 50 favorite films of 2020. The best movies that I saw in 2020. If you don't think these are the best movies of 2020, well, then you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. But this is just my opinion. Obviously, the movies that I have on this list, these are just some of my favorites. If you don't like them, that's okay, but hopefully you find some movies that you do enjoy from some of my recommendations. I haven't done a recorded video for one of my lists since I think I did one in 2015. I started one in 2016. I did a part one on my channel and never finished it. 2017, 2018, and 2019, I just released my lists on Instagram and Facebook and kind of just kept track of it on Letterboxd. But I decided, since I've been doing these episodes and these videos again on YouTube, that I might as well do a video version of it. I'll probably release a sneak peek of this on Instagram and Facebook that some people who follow me there will probably see before this video is released. But we're going to go ahead and jump right into it here. Before I get into my list for the best films of 2020, I am going to mention some TV series, miniseries, limited series that I saw that I really enjoyed. I don't watch a ton of TV because my problem with TV is it's such a time commitment. If it's something that I know I'm really going to enjoy or I trust a recommendation, then I will check it out and I will jump in. But often I will not start a show if I don't think it's something I'm going to enjoy. So I'm very, very picky with TV because I don't want to waste my time hours and hours and hours on a show that I'm going to end up hating or disliking or discontinuing because I'm just bored with it. But there are 14 seasons of shows, limited series, mini series that I watched in 2020 that I really enjoyed, and they're all worth recommending. Some of the ones I'm going to go in reverse order of my least favorite to my favorite. Some of the ones near the bottom of this list are not great, but I liked them enough that they're worth recommending. So we're going to start with the mini series, limited series Devs, DEVS, that was on FX, written, produced, and directed, I believe, by Alex Garland, who did the movies Ex Machina and Annihilation. He's made some great films. I enjoyed this show. It's very weird. Didn't love it as much as his movies. Worth checking out if you like his other stuff. Number 13, again, going in reverse order here, least favorite to favorite, Archer, season 11. If you enjoy Archer, season 11 to me still keeps the quality pretty high. It's not quite as good at this point as some of the early seasons, but the animation's still great. The voice acting's still great. A lot of great jokes and running gags. I still enjoyed watching it. Number 12 here, Rick and Morty, season 4 was split up into two halves, and actually the second half premiered in 2020. The first half was at the end of 2019. Another show that I really enjoyed early on, and I'm still really enjoying. It's kind of lost a little bit of its excitement and initial buzz, but I still think it's worth checking out. I enjoyed it. Number 11 here is season 6 of Schitt's Creek. My wife and I binged the entire show about a month and a half ago. I'd never watched any of it, and we really enjoyed it. I think it's a pretty great sitcom if you're looking for a really good sitcom, original sitcom with an interesting concept. Canadian sitcom. Really enjoyed it. Number 10 here is season, I believe it's 4 now. I forget if it's season 3 or 4. I think it's season 4. I don't remember. The Real Bros of Simi Valley, Facebook watch show. I absolutely love this show. It's a satire and kind of critique of reality shows, particularly like Real Housewives and Jersey Shore and things like that. It comes from the mind of Jimmy Tatro, who became famous from YouTube, and I think he does a really great job with this show. Number 9 is season 2 of The Mandalorian. I really liked season 2. I really like season 1. I think season 2 is better than season 1. I'm really enjoying this show. I think it's one of the best things that Disney has done with Star Wars since taking over the property. I'm looking forward to see where they go. Wasn't a huge fan of the ending of this season, but I still think it's pretty great. Number 8 here is season 4 of Fargo. Fargo is one of my current favorite shows that's still running on TV. In terms of shows that are still on, love the movie. The show is a spinoff of the movie. Each season is different cast of characters, different time period, different location in the Midwest. It's great. Season 4 takes place in the 50s, I believe. Chris Rock is the main character, one of the main characters. He's great. It's really solid. Definitely worth checking out. Number 7 is another miniseries, limited series, anthology miniseries, The Haunting of Bly Manor, The Haunting of Hill House, and The Haunting of Bly Manor is an anthology kind of limited series by Mike Flanagan, who's done a lot of horror films. I think he's very underrated. This is just as good, if not quite as good as Haunting of Hill House. I liked Haunting of Hill House actually a little bit more, but this is still very good entry in this limited series. It's on Netflix. Number 6 here is Curb Your Enthusiasm season 10. Larry David is still just as funny as ever. I can't wait to see season 11. Apparently that they're filming it right now, and I think it's supposed to come out this year. I love that HBO gives him as much time and freedom as he wants. Curb Your Enthusiasm. R-rated Seinfeld. It's great. I love Larry David. Number 5 here is a limited series or a mini series, documentary series, The Last Dance. It premiered on ESPN, and then now it's on Netflix. Basically about the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan, leading them through the 6 championships. Kind of behind the scenes, some never before seen footage, really in-depth, detailed, with modern interviews of a lot of the members of the team and people involved in the franchise. It's really great. Definitely worth checking out. Doesn't even matter if you like basketball or sports. I'm not huge into the NBA. And it's really engaging, really well done. Number 4, I talked about a few episodes ago on my podcast, miniseries on Netflix, The Queen's Gambit. Really, really great. Adapted from a book. Anya Taylor-Joy, I believe that's her name, is incredible in it. It's a really great miniseries, definitely worth your time. Number 3 is an animated show, adult animated show that a lot of people, I am pretty sure, haven't heard of. It's called Primal. It is an adult animated show on Adult Swim. That is phenomenal. It's very limited dialogue. There's almost no dialogue. It's completely visual storytelling of a caveman and a dinosaur who become friends through a tragedy and basically are living like in prehistoric times. It's from the same guy who did Samurai Jack. And I never know how to say his name. I'm not even going to try. He's a Russian, I believe Russian filmmaker, mostly does animated shows. It's incredible. It's absolutely phenomenal. If you like animation, especially adult animation, that's very serious in its storytelling, traditionally animated too, it's phenomenal. Number 2 is also another animated show, BoJack Horseman season 6, I believe. I had not watched any of it, and I binged all of it last year. It's a show that I put off for a long time because I heard season 1 was very average, and it is. If you've never watched BoJack Horseman, get through season 1. Season 1 is really it's fine. It doesn't really elevate itself until season 2, and every season subsequently just gets better and better and better. It's one of the best adult animated shows I've ever seen in terms of its themes, its storytelling, its characters, its themes and ideas, especially very serious themes, very mature in terms of its content, very sad and dark. I loved it. Season 6 is incredible. And finally, my favorite show that I watched in 2020 was season 5, I believe, Better Call Saul. Absolutely amazing. Breaking Bad, one of my favorite shows of all time, probably is my favorite show of all time. And Better Call Saul, Vince Gilligan does the spin-off series right, took his time with it. It's just as good. Some people think it's better than Breaking Bad. It's going for very different things than Breaking Bad, but I can't wait. The final season 6, I believe, is supposed to come out next year. Season 5 was amazing. Can't wait to see how it finishes. All right, so those were pretty much the only shows I watched in 2020. In terms of shows that were released, those were all shows released in 2020, and I enjoyed them all. They're all worth checking out. All right, let's get into the best films 2020. Here we go. These are some films that didn't quite make my top 50. And yes, if you don't believe me, how the hell did you watch that many movies? I didn't think that many came out. A lot of movies came out in 2020. I promise you. You had to look a little bit harder. I keep telling people this. People are like, oh, there's not many good movies that came out in 2020. There's a lot of great movies that came out in 2020. It's just a lot of them got released to streaming and you really had to look. So I'm hoping maybe a lot of these movies on this list, even my honorable mentions, will give you some good recommendations for you to check out. All right, so I'm going to kind of run through my honorable mentions here one by one. They're in alphabetical order. Okay, I'm not going to talk too much about them. You can check out my thoughts either on Instagram, Facebook, my Letterboxd account. They'll all be linked down below if you want extended thoughts. Alphabetical order, honorable mentions from 2020. An American Pickle, Collective, Deerskin, Extraction, His House, The King of Staten Island, The Platform, Relic, Spree, Time, Underwater, Unhinged, and The Vast of Night. Those are my honorable mentions. Didn't quite make my 2020 best of the year list. They're all worth your time, all worth checking out. And I enjoyed them all. Again, if you want extended thoughts on them, you can check out my Instagram, Facebook, Letterboxd accounts. I have reviews in all those places, especially Letterboxd. All right, so I'm going to jump into my top 50 films of 2020. The first 50 through 21, I'm just going to kind of go through quickly. Again, if you want extended thoughts, you can find them on my Letterboxd. As I get into the top 20, I might talk a little bit more about them. So I've seen around 100 movies, just a little bit more, I think, that came out in 2020. Again, I only, as I've mentioned in years past when I put these lists out, I only watch films I'm interested in. I don't have all the time and money in the world to see everything. If I was a full-time paid film critic, I would. I'm not. I do this just for fun. So these are my favorite films of 2020. Obviously, we don't have to agree. I encourage thoughtful discussion. Let me know what you think. What you don't agree with, what you like, what you don't. All these films received their theatrical release in the United States in 2020. That goes for my honorable mentions too. Meaning they were released on streaming in North America in 2020, so I had access to them in 2020, or they received a wide theatrical release near me. So some of these films, some people may consider 2019 releases, but for me, in terms of living in the Midwest in the United States, that they came out in 2020. So they may have received different releases elsewhere or a limited release elsewhere, but I'm not going by that. So hopefully you check out something you haven't seen before. Let me know what some of your favorites are, but let's go ahead and get into it. Number 50, Welcome to Chechnya, American documentary. Number 49, Bad Education, true crime comedy film. Number 48, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, USA-UK co-production drama. Number 47, I'm No Longer Here, co-production Mexico, USA, crime drama film. Number 46, Sorry We Missed You, co-production UK, France, and Belgium, drama. Number 45, The Assistant, American drama film. Number 44, one of the entries in the Small Axe anthology film series, Lovers Rock, UK, USA co-production. It's a music drama. Number 43, The Painter and the Thief, Norwegian documentary. Number 42, The Lodge, psychological horror film, co-production between the UK and US. Number 41, Birds of Prey, American superhero film. Number 40, Bill and Ted Face the Music, American sci-fi comedy film. Number 39, Mank, American biographical drama. Number 38, Color Out of Space, American sci-fi Lovecraftian horror movie. Number 37, A Son, Taiwanese drama. Number 36, The Invisible Man, American sci-fi horror film. Number 35, You Cannot Kill David Arquette, American documentary. Number 34, The Call, South Korean horror thriller film. Number 33, part of the Small Axe anthology film series, Mangrove. It's a UK, USA co-production historical drama. Number 32, David Byrne's American Utopia, American concert film. Number 31, The Wolf of Snow Hollow, American comedy horror film. Number 30, The True History of the Kelly Gang, co-production between Australia and the UK. It's a bushranger historical drama. Number 29, Happiest Season, American romantic comedy film, holiday film. Number 28, The Mole Agent. This is a Chilean documentary. Number 27, Run. It's an American thriller. Number 26, Boys State, American documentary. Number 25, The Gentleman. It's a co-production between the UK and US action comedy crime film. Number 24, Crip Camp, American documentary. Number 23, Palm Springs, American sci-fi romantic comedy. Number 22, 1917, UK USA co-production war film. Number 21, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, USA biographical music drama film. Okay, now we're getting to the top 20. May say a little bit about each one of these, but probably not until the top 10 when I say a little bit more. Number 20, Hamilton, American concert film. I would love to see Hamilton live on Broadway. I was pretty blown away by the filmed version of it on Disney Plus. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Got to watch it a couple times. Number 19, Spike Lee's Da 5 Bloods. It's an American war drama film. Really enjoyed this. Chadwick Boseman, one of his final performances, along with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Obviously, both came out in 2020. Da 5 Bloods, I think, is severely underrated. Didn't get enough praise at the Oscars. Really like this one. If you like Spike Lee, definitely got to watch it. Number 18, my favorite of the small acts anthology film series from Steve McQueen, Red, White, and Blue. It's an American UK co-production historical drama. The Small Acts Anthology series was 5 films done by Steve McQueen, all on Amazon Prime. All of them are worth checking out. Red, White, and Blue, Mangrove, and Lover's Rock, though, are my 3 favorites of the 5. Number 17, Soul, American animated film, Pixar's latest outing. Honestly, one of their best original works since Coco. One of my favorites since Coco. Really liked Soul. Really great, more adult themes, which I know they usually have, but I enjoyed this one a lot. Number 16, I just talked about this on my podcast with John Horford, Shithouse, which went under everyone's radar. It's an American coming-of-age comedy drama film by a first-time filmmaker named Cooper Raiff. 22 years old, made this on a budget of $15,000. First-time filmmaker. It's basically details a freshman in his 6 months into his first year of college over one weekend. It's very well done, considering the context, what it was made under in terms of its budget and who made it. Really enjoyed it. Number 15, Borat, subsequent movie film, UK-USA co-production, mockumentary comedy. Everyone knows Borat at this point. I was blown away by how good the sequel is. I was not anticipating to enjoy it as much as I did. Really impressive what Sacha Baron Cohen was able to do, considering the constraints with COVID, people knowing this character now, and he was still able to pull off an incredibly funny satirical film. Really enjoyed the sequel. Number 14, The 40-Year-Old Version, Version, obviously play on the Steve Carell movie, the name there. American comedy drama film. Rada Blank, I believe is her name. Writer, director, producer, stars in the movie. First-time filmmaker. It's basically about her, starring her as herself, and she made this film. Really another underrated film that not enough people saw. It's on Netflix. Go check it out. It is phenomenal. Number 13, My Octopus Teacher. I believe this won the Oscar for Best Documentary, if I remember correctly. South African documentary. I loved this documentary. Some people aren't as big on it. I thought it was great. It's on Netflix. Go in blind. If you don't know anything about it, just go in blind. Looking for a really good documentary. I loved it. Number 12, Beastie Boys Story. American live documentary film. It's on Apple TV Plus. Basically, the 2 surviving members of the Beastie Boys. Obviously, one of their members has since passed away quite a while ago from cancer. The 2 surviving members, basically, in a very simple, laid-back format. Spike Jonze, great director, helped them do a live telling of their it was like a picture book autobiography that they did, and so they did a live version of them telling it with pictures and videos and music and kind of some anecdotes. It's great. I really enjoyed it. Number 11, I'm Thinking of Ending Things. Charlie Kaufman, written, directed by, surrealist psychological drama. This film was absolutely snubbed at the Oscars. I don't think it was nominated for anything. It should have been nominated for at least 5 or 6 things. I'm Thinking of Ending Things is very weird, but incredibly original. It is based on a book. Charlie Kaufman, supremely talented writer and director. This is a movie that if you've only watched it once, you got to watch it again. I think I watched it 3 times, and I did some reading on it, and it's pretty genius, in my opinion, what it's doing, what's on its mind, how it's portraying some things in the film. Another one that, go in blind and then maybe do some reading after you watch it. I loved it. Okay, top 10. These are my top 10 of 2020. When I get into the top 5 or 6 here, I really had a heck of a time organizing my top 10, especially the top 5 or 6. Honestly, it's kind of arbitrary. It was really difficult to kind of separate these. 2019 was a much better year for movies. But all 10 of these, I think, are 10 of the greatest movies of 2020, in my opinion. And again, it was kind of hard for me to organize these, but it was kind of stream of consciousness, just a gut feeling thing. Number 10, Possessor, Canadian UK co-production science fiction psychological horror film from David Cronenberg's son, legendary filmmaker David Cronenberg, body horror filmmaker. His son Brandon Cronenberg made this film. This is like his mainstream or major feature debut. I think he had another film he did that was smaller, not as well known, but he hasn't done a whole lot. This is a phenomenal body horror, psychological horror film. Really disturbing, great themes, great visuals, really weird. I absolutely love it. Number 9, Feels Good Man. I believe my favorite documentary of the year, American documentary film. Not enough people saw this, very under the radar, about Pepe the Frog and how that meme and its creator, how it's been twisted and ruined by the alt-right. It is a great documentary. I absolutely adore it. Definitely check it out. Even if you're not into internet culture, I think it's a fascinating, very interesting, very entertaining documentary. Awesome animation, awesome visuals, really great. Number 8, another Netflix film that was absolutely snubbed at the Oscars, The Devil All the Time, American psychological thriller, crime drama, based on a book. The author of the book narrates the film, very purposeful, incredible cast, very sprawling kind of epic story, a lot of great performances. Robert Pattinson, really good in this. Really, everyone's great in it. Huge cast, all-star ensemble cast. This is a film I've seen also like 3 times. I really, every time I rewatched it, I really enjoyed it. Definitely check it out. Number 7, Tenet, American UK co-production sci-fi action thriller film, Christopher Nolan's latest venture. A lot of people, this caused a lot of controversy in terms of it being released during the pandemic. Christopher Nolan trying to help jumpstart the theaters. It made a lot of money, but not enough considering its budget. One of the most expensive original films ever made, I think at $200 million. I think it's incredible. A lot of people had issues with its sound mixing, how the music kind of drowns out the dialogue. I need to rewatch it now that I own it on physical media. I need to rewatch it with subtitles, but I still absolutely loved it. I think it's great. I think it has problems, but I still love the ambition and the scope and scale of the film. Great music too. Number 6, a film I also just talked about on my podcast with John Horford, The Empty Man, a film nobody saw, American supernatural horror thriller film, the final film released under the 20th Century Fox banner. The Empty Man is a horror epic, 2 hours and 20 minutes. I've watched it 3 times now, and I find something new in it every time. Originally looked like a creepypasta film, and it is not at all. It is weird and bizarre as hell, and everyone needs to watch The Empty Man. I loved it. Number 5, this movie did get a lot of praise at the Oscars, and rightfully so. Sound of Metal, American music drama film. It's on Amazon Prime. If you have not seen Sound of Metal, you have to watch this movie. Easily one of the best of 2020. I need to rewatch it. I loved it, was blown away by it. Riz Ahmed is incredible. I love this movie. Gotta check it out. Incredible. Number 4, Another Round, currently on Apple TV Plus, I believe. Last I saw, this is a Danish film, Sweden, Netherlands co-production as well. Comedy drama from Thomas Vinterberg, who is a great director. The Hunt was another film he did, also with Mads Mikkelsen, who stars in this movie. It is about high school teachers who try to sustain a certain level of drunkenness to enjoy life more, get more out of life. It explores a lot of themes surrounding alcohol. Doesn't really take a stance either way, just kind of presents it to you. It's an incredibly emotional film, touching film, engaging, great performances, great music, great direction, awesome movie. I loved it. I appreciated that it got some love at the Oscars. Number 3, Promising Young Woman, American UK co-production, black comedy thriller. Emerald Fennell, I believe is her name, the writer, director, feature debut. Carey Mulligan stars. It is a great debut. Carey Mulligan's great in this. I really enjoyed it. Some people were very harsh and critical of it. I understand why. I need to rewatch it. I saw it once in theaters. That was one of the few films I got to see in a movie theater in 2021. 2020. I can't remember when I watched it. It's a 2020 release, but I can't remember when. I think I saw it in theaters in 2020, late in the year. It's great. Got to check it out. I really enjoy it. Go in blind. Don't read anything about it if you can. Has a couple crazy twists and turns in it. Really enjoyed this one. Number 2, Just Mercy. Similar to 1917 on this list, these were films that came out in a limited release at the end of 2019 and were technically given their wide theatrical release in 2020, and that's when I was able to see them in theaters was early 2020. So Just Mercy technically was released wide in America, North America, United States in like January of 2020. I absolutely adore this film. I wrote about it extensively on Letterboxd and Instagram and Facebook. It's a biographical legal drama. Jamie Foxx, Michael B. Jordan are phenomenal in this. Brie Larson has a really good small role. This is such a great historical film in terms of its direction, its cinematography, music, performances. Most of the time, these films are really cheesy, sappy, and pandering. This one is not. It is a very well done film. Everyone should see it. Absolutely love this movie, Just Mercy. My number 1 film of the year, and again, I kind of debated on some of these in the top 10 and how to order them. This one I watched more than once and just kind of a gut reaction. I just loved it, and it's so underrated, and I'm putting it at number 1 because I think it is absolutely phenomenal. It's one of the best animated films I've seen in a while. Wolfwalkers. Irish co-production with the UK and France, animated film. This studio has done some other really good recent traditionally hand-drawn animated films, but this one, the combination of music, the voice performances, the story, the animation, everything about it, I was just blown away. I love this movie. It is on Apple TV Plus. People need to watch Wolfwalkers. It was nominated for an Oscar for animated film. Obviously Soul won. Pixar always wins. I would have picked Wolfwalkers. I think it's phenomenal. Again, I put it at number 1 just because I think that's going to, if you watch this, it's going to encourage more people to go see it. But honestly, any one of these films in my top 5 or 6 probably could have taken the spot. I probably could have rotated through them all because I equally kind of enjoyed all of them. But that's my list. Those are my favorite films of 2020. Hope you enjoyed watching, listening. Obviously, go check them out. Let me know what you think. Hopefully, I gave you some good recommendations. I look forward to returning with some more videos and talking about movies, as well as talking about some classics with my new game, Classics We're Embarrassed We Haven't Seen. We'll be doing some more of that. And until next time, I'm Vince, Film Nerd Podcast. Go watch some movies.